Good day, Bashar.
And you good day.
I'm grateful to be here with all of you for this experience. I've learned so much from all of your guys' questions. Anyhow, Bashar,
Yes.
let me start off by saying that I know that for many of you over here, in this world, there is no nobility, only politics is what most of us feel. That's why we're here. And because of this, I've dedicated my life to empower the warrior spirit of the willing masses.
All right.
I have a holistic approach to fitness and self-defense training. I add spirituality to it and neuroplasticity.
All right. That
Is
sounds
there
exciting.
thank you. Is there anything I should add to that to empower others?
If you are focused on the idea of physicality in that way, then by all means, there can be a little bit more efficacy in the plasticity if people will also divest themselves of toxins within their system.
And I actually do
All right.
uh,
Then you are doing
consider
what you
that.
need to.
Okay.
Just
All
keep
right.
moving. Just keep going. Just keep acting on whatever you're inspired to act on in that direction if that's what excites you. It's all you need to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Also, is there more senses in the five that we know?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Can you
You
share some
already
of that
know
with?
some of those,
Oh yeah,
really.
I do. I just
But
want
the idea is even physiologically, yes.
exactly.
Well, many of you have a similar sense of direction and follow the magnetic lines of the earth that some animals exhibit. You have that magnetite orientation, that quantum level orientation to the magnetic field. Many people have a sense of direction, yes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. They're following the magnetic field of the earth. They're sensing it. So you have different senses, yes. And of course, you have some that go beyond the idea of the physical into the energetic. Again, you can adapt yourself to certain frequencies that allow you to harmonize and vibrate in a certain way that you can sense higher frequency energies, higher frequency consciousnesses. In a sense, that's what's happening right now. The channel was trained to alter his frequency to create an ability to sense our energy more strongly and match its frequency sufficiently to allow this telepathic bond to occur.
Perfect.
So that's another sense. So go and explore and see what other senses you actually have.
Mm.
Come to your senses.
Thank you for that. Um, Also, I've been very close to death many times, and when I say
Oh,
that, it's
how
not just.
exciting.
And each time I came out perfectly unscratched.
Yes. Well, yes and no.
Yeah, and I kind of have a
What you
feeling
did
what you
is
mean by
shifted
that.
into a slightly
Exactly.
different parallel reality where you
Yes.
didn't understand that you actually died.
Yeah, I actually accept and I know that I did die and reborn, and that's
So to
how I
speak.
got this new direction.
Yes.
Each
Well,
time it
thank you
happened.
for rebooting yourself.
And in when I was in Iraq, I was blown up twice.
Oh, how exciting.
Well, more than that, but there was two times, 1 month apart from each other, from a suicide vehicle
Yes.
born IED.
Yes.
Those were two of the ones that I mentioned that
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
was referring to.
Chose a
But
very
just
creative way to shift yourself.
yes,
Very abruptly.
and it did happen extremely. Yeah. Um, and I've recently followed a rabbit hole, and I came across this gentleman that is I consider him to be my twin soul in a sense because our stories are so similar.
Yes.
He goes by the name of Red Feather.
All right.
He's around my age.
Yes,
He
yes,
was
yes.
blown up the same times.
Yes.
Everything. We ended up in Alaska, out of
All
all
right. You've done
places.
something very interesting, rare, and unique here.
Okay.
In the idea of dying and shifting yourself to a parallel reality, you shifted yourself in one of those times to a parallel reality with another version of you that is slightly different. You understand? To use it as a reflective reinforcement of your path so that you would, in a sense, be twice as strong into people and go in a different direction. You understand what we're saying?
Oh yeah.
All right. Very creative, as I said.
Wow. Um, And I recently contacted a energy healing school nearby here in Pasadena, and when I spoke to the dean, I mentioned this red feather, and she said, "Wait a minute, what?" And she said that just a few days before that, spirit came to her, and
Yes.
um,
Yes.
spirit said that was red feather. And when I mentioned red feather, she's like, "Wait, what did you just say?" So because of that, we connected
Yes.
immensely.
Yes. As I said, you have increased your ability by having this dual reflection in one particular reality of yourself and a parallel self. Of course, Red Feather could look at it the other way too, creating a parallel version in his reality. You understand?
Yes.
And the idea is that gives you more energy, a larger scale, a quantumly larger scale of energy with which to create things like synchronicity. It becomes more immediate. It becomes more now because you're working literally with the structure of parallel realities. What you're doing is similar to the beginnings of what happens with cryptics. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So you're on an interesting path. Continue.
Okay, great. And it's amazing that you say about the duplication with this red feather
Yes.
fellow. And I believe it happened one last time. And what I mean by that is recently I got notice that I might be a father, but when it happened, I was basically a child myself, and I wasn't all there, meaning I was
Well, this is
sedated.
sometimes what happens when you shift into parallel realities where other things are going on. You may inherit other life paths that you can incorporate to some degree into your own life path in the way that you've set this up.
And the reason why I brought that up is I have been concerned for his emotional um
Yes. Growth,
growth.
stability.
Yes,
Yes.
if I do this soon, where I meet him and
Yes.
embrace him. The problem is like I mentioned before, I was not conscious. I was not there. So I am actually concerned that I might not be able to love him the way I should, being
Why not?
technically his father, because it has happened to me just recently.
Yes.
My father wasn't present
Yes.
for my upbringing.
Yes, yes, yes. But are
And
you going to be in prison?
no,
Well, then
no, no.
what's your concern?
I meant to say present. He was absent,
Yes.
and
But you can be present, yes?
yes,
So what's your concern?
is that I have tried. I actually forgave him for what I thought was his
Yes.
fault, that he wasn't there, from drug use and other
Yes,
things.
yes, yes.
And
Did you forgive yourself too?
yes, that's where I started.
All right. Well, if you have forgiven yourself and brought yourself back into alignment, what is your concern with this other child?
Well, the thing is that is history repeating itself in a sense, and
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, 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 no. History doesn't automatically repeat
yeah.
itself. It's based on the choices that you make.
Mm,
Now, if you feel you are a different person and you are a different person because of the way that you've shifted, if you start really understanding how to identify with yourself as a different person, then please remember, if you're truly a different person, you don't have the same history anymore.
mhm.
You never did.
And my concern is, though, is that I have tried
Tried what?
wholeheartedly to love my father, and I cannot. And I try to embrace his self because I have
You
empowered
don't
his self.
have to condone his choices in order to love him unconditionally as a being
Mm,
that is going through his own exploration of his fears and his beliefs in lack of self empowerment. You can understand that it takes a victim to make a victim.
mhm.
So the idea is that he experienced his life in a victimized way as well, and this is the best he could do with it. So you can understand that in that sense, even though you may not necessarily condone the choices he's making, you can understand why they were made
Mhm.
because that's all he could understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
And therefore you can have compassion for the state of being that
Yes.
forced him to choose things that weren't necessarily in his or your best interest. Yes?
Yes. You said two words that awoken what I already knew. I just somehow was denying it or somehow.
Yes,
Which
and that
was
is?
the first one was unconditional
Yes.
love, which I actually do.
All right, well then,
And I
no
don't know
conditions.
why I knew that, but I just anyhow. And then the second one was the I lost. Yes.
Compassion.
Yes. Thank you.
Happy to find it for you.
Yes.
So,
And my last question
yes.
is, and it's weird because
Oh, weird. All right, we love weird. We are the epitome of
I
weird.
wasn't gonna ask this because I felt it was somewhat selfish of me.
Yes, what's that?
But can you tell me what's my lineage? And I guess you can say interstellar lineage. I'm not referring to here on Earth.
You mean what connections have you made to other civilizations that are helping to inform your life on Earth?
Yes.
Because you understand all lives are simultaneous, yes?
Yes. The pineal
So it's
gland.
not really a lineage in that sense, unless you're referring to the idea of what you call your timeline history with regard to going back to how humans were genetically altered. Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about among the stars now?
Among the stars now.
All right. You have very strong Orion connections and you're transforming them from darkness to light. And you're doing very well. You have Pleiadian connections, you have some Sirius connections, you have some Arcturus connections, but the strongest ones are the Orion connections going from darkness into light. Does this help you?
Yes, because when I was in Iraq and I had that reborn, something came to me of the word source, R-E, sorcery.
Yes.
Source dot R dot E.
Yes, we
The
understand.
source of real enlightenment. And what you just said is basically what I've been trying to do is convert darkness to light. And that's why I carry this belt at all times.
Yes.
You guys know this.
So, you are familiar with the Orion constellation in your sky?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've connected with this since when I was a child. That was my father, actually. I would look at it all the time and ask for questions, and I would get directions and answers. And
then you understand the connections that you have and how you're using them. So well done.
thank you, Bashar.
Our unconditional love to you.